So I'm going to talk to you today about philosophical reductionism, which is a metaphysical framework for figuring out how the world around us works. I'm a reductionist, and I think you should be too. But first we're going to talk about Theseus's ship. Now Theseus's ship is a paradox, first proposed by Greek philosophers, and it asks the following question. If we replace Theseus's ship one piece at a time, and we move all those pieces to a separate pile, and then we take that separate pile and we build a second ship out of it, which ship is the original ship of Theseus? Now it can't really be the first, because all we really did is we moved the ship one plank at a time. But if it's the second one, then we have to answer the question of when exactly did the first stop being the ship of Theseus? Neither answer is particularly compelling here. It turns out this is asking us a much deeper question. It's asking us, how do we categorize objects? Does it depend on the things that go into them, or does it depend on the identity that we assign to them? Now, reductionism is the claim that complex systems are nothing more than the sum of their parts. Now, this implies that the rules of a system are fully contained and described in the rules of the system below it. Chemistry is just applied physics. Now, when you frame the problem this way, the paradox resolves. The question was meaningless. The question implied that a ship is a real thing, when really a ship is a collection of real things. The term ship doesn't mean anything to reality, it only means something to humans. Now, this seems kind of obvious in retrospect, but I would venture to guess that most people here have not yet hit upon the truth, because planks are also complex systems made up of wood fibers. Wood fibers are complex systems made up of atoms, and atoms, it turns out, we've discovered in the last century, are also complex systems. But we're going to stop there for now. We talk about ships and models because they're useful, because they're approximations for how reality works. You wouldn't want to have to refer to every plank to talk about a ship. You certainly wouldn't want to have to refer to every atom. But models are just a convenience. Physics doesn't operate on models. Physics operates on atoms. You could, in principle, calculate what physics does to every atom in a ship, and when you looked at the results, when you added them up, it would demonstrate the property of buoyancy in water. That's called an emergent property. Now let's back up a second. Imagine for a moment that I lost a hand and it was replaced with a prosthetic. Am I still me? Most people would say yes. Most people would be fine replacing any part of the human body so long as we don't start touching the brain. But let's examine that for a second. Some people undergo trauma and get brain damage, and they're largely unchanged. Some people lose their short-term memory, some people lose their entire memory, some people have been known to drastically change their personality permanently. Some people undergo brain surgery to voluntarily damage their brain because it's more important that they fix something than that they maintain the state of their brain. At what point is this no longer the same person? Now, Theseus's brain makes us uncomfortable because we like to assign identity at the level of abstraction with which we interact with the world. I like to think that Jake is a meaningful collection of atoms, and for everyday purposes, he is. But if you were to ask physics, physics would say it operates on Jake's brain the same way it operates on Jake's hand. So we're kind of stuck. We don't really have an option here to move away from this idea that we're just chemical reactions that happen to have this really cool emergent behavior. So I thought for a long time how to end this presentation, and that's why this slide is here, because I had no idea what to put here. But really the truth is, I'm a reductionist because I think it's true, and I'm telling you all about it because I think it actually matters. Because you are fed bullshit every single day, and it's incredibly difficult to notice. So 20 years from now, we're going to look back on today, and we're going to shake our heads about how wrong we are about so many things, right? Trouble is, we don't know what those things are yet. Now that's fine in physical sciences, that's fine in areas where we're discovering new knowledge, but it's absolutely terrifying in the moral universe. For our parents' generation, it was gay marriage. For their parents, it was segregation. For their parents, women's suffrage. Human beings are objectively bad at seeing through social bullshit, systemic social bullshit. To do that, you need good tools. You need good systems that allow you to categorize certain sets of belief as utterly crazy. Reductionism is one of those tools. So today, I posit to you that frameworks matter, that good systems and good processes trump moral intuition 100 out of 100 times, and that you have a moral obligation to understand what you are basing your beliefs on, and it better be something other than a gut feeling. And that's my pitch for reductionism.